We gather today as a generation that's grown with the internet, with the use of information, and with a deep understanding of injustice.
Gathered on 16 September 2024 at the premises of the National Stadium in Surulere, Lagos State, where Muslims from different Islamic organizations in Nigeria, they all trooped out in their numbers to answer the clarion call of the Muslim Awareness International to mark Aqsa Day 2024 and lend their strong voice against the unending injustice and onslaught in Palestine.
Long live Palestine! Long live Gaza! Long live Gaza!
Long live Palestine!
Free, free Palestine!
Free, free Gaza!
Free, free Gaza!
Free, free Palestine!
From the river to the sea.
The theme of this year's event was Free Palestine, from the river to the sea. The director of Muslim Awareness International, Mr. Abdulwahid Atoyebi, set the tone for the event, emphasizing the need for humanity to rally against the injustice faced in Palestine.
The main topic for the day is injustice to Palestinians and genocide in Gaza, a threat to democracy and freedom in the world. Today, we are gathered to discuss the grave injustice faced by the Palestinian people, especially the genocide occurring in Gaza, instigated by the Zionist state of Israel. These atrocities not only threaten the lives of millions, but also undermine the very principle of democracy and freedom that we claim to cherish around the world. The human tragedy unfolding in Palestine has far-reaching implications, and its impact extends beyond the borders of Gaza. It is a global crisis that challenges our collective conscience. In the ongoing genocide campaign by the Zionist state of Israel, over 40,000 Palestinians have been killed by the Israeli military, including thousands of innocent children. These are not just statistics. They are lives cut short, dreams shattered, and families torn apart by an occupation that the world has watched largely in silence. It is time for the people of the world to stand up and demand an end to this injustice. One of the most effective ways to do this is through boycott, divestment, and sanction, which is BDS movement, which aims to economically isolate Israel and the companies that support its apartheid policies. By withdrawing our economic support, we send a clear message that the world will not tolerate genocide and systematic oppression. As individuals, we must key into this campaign, boycotting companies that directly or indirectly enable Israel's action and advocating for governments and institutions to do the same.
The day's event featured seasoned speakers and Islamic scholars, the likes of Chief Femi Fani-Kayode, former Minister of Aviation, Sheikh Zukrullah Shafi, Grand Mufti of the Conference of Islamic Organization, Lagos, and Professor Laki Akitola, Director of the Muslim Rights Concerns, MURIC, speak passionately on the injustice to Palestinians and genocide in Gaza, a threat to democracy and freedom in the world.
Gaza, which was then being ruled over by Hamas being a political party that won a free and fair election, Gaza was now turned into a concentration camp. Literally, a massive, in fact the world's largest concentration camp by the Jewish state. And what did I mean by that? Well, they didn't like Hamas, and consequently they decided to bring Gaza to its knees. They could tolerate those that took control of the West Bank, which was Fatah and the PLO, because they were moderate and they were reasonable as far as the Jews were concerned. But they didn't like those that were in control of Gaza, and therefore they decided to bring it to its knees. So what did they do? They cut off the water, they cut off the light, they cut off everything, and said you will only get light and water when we feel like giving it to you. You will only move around when we feel like giving, when we feel like allowing it. They blockaded them from the sea. They couldn't get food substance unless the Jews allowed food to come in. They couldn't do anything. Literally, they couldn't even go to the toilet without permission from the Jewish state. They were suppressed, they were oppressed, they were denied, they were disgraced, they were not allowed to develop, they were humiliated. They were turned into not second or third class citizens, but literally into subhumans who were living in a space of destruction, a space of want, a space of misery, and a space of degradation and humiliation. That is what the Jewish state turned the people of Gaza into. And yet the people of Gaza proudly refused to bow. And let me say this, talking about the Palestinians in both the West Bank and the Gaza, many people do not know that 97% of the people in those populations are educated people. These are literate people, which is far more than the Americans, incidentally, and far more than most European countries. 97% of these Palestinians can read and write and are educated. It's remarkable. So they suffered. They were subjugated. They were suppressed. They were disgraced. And they were humiliated. And worst of all, they were consistently killed, murdered and butchered by the Israelis over all those years, over 75 years of mass murder, pillaging, ethnic cleansing, torture, oppression, and so on and so forth. Whilst the world applauded them, including many in the West, and many of those of us that were misguided, thinking that Israel could get away with anything simply because of the provisions of the Bible, which said, whoever curses Israel is cursed, whoever blesses Israel is blessed. But yet we forgot that the Bible also spoke about resisting evil. The Bible also said that we must stand for the weak, we must stand against injustice, and we must stand for the oppressed and fight for them. The Bible also says that.
October 7 yóò pé ọdún kan tí a ń pè ní Tufan Aqsa.
Tufan Aqsa, Aqsa flood.
Kí ló bí àwọn èèyàn yìí tí ń jìyà bọ̀ wọ́n sọ̀rọ̀ àwọn ọmọgbàdá wọ́n sọ̀rọ̀ àníyàn yìí inú wàhálà ni wọ́n bí sí.
Allahu Akbar.
Ọmọ tí wọ́n bí àṣẹ refugee ni ibẹ̀ ló dàgbà sí ibẹ̀ ló ti kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ orí ẹ̀ náà ní apalẹ̀ lórí.
Allahu Akbar.
Gbogbo wá di 2007 lẹ́yìn ìgbà tí wọ́n dìbò tán tọ́lọ́ ní kí àwọn Hamas ní majority ní wá gbófin kalẹ̀ fún yí pé bẹ́ẹ̀ bá fẹ́ ṣèjọba o ẹ recognize Israel, state of Israel. Ó ti sọnù ọ̀rọ̀ pé lánà àtàrífà bí Israel àwọn tá a bá kéwù lán lólò pé láéláé
lánà àtàrífà bí Israel
láéláé ní recognize wọn. Wọ́n wá sídi mọ́ wọn lẹ́yìn 2007 gbogbo ohun tí ọmọnìyàn máa ń ní wọn àjẹ́ wọn ní wọn àlómi tí wọ́n mu wọn àlójẹ tí wọ́n jẹ wọn àníná kò sí kẹ̀kẹ́ jẹ́ ní ma wọn àjẹ́ wọn jáde wọn àjẹ́ yẹn wọlé bára nìkan ọba yánu wọn yóò kú bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni.
Allahu Akbar.
Wọn àjẹ́ kí dókítà kó wọlé wọn àjẹ́ kí wọ́n kó oògùn wọlé láti 2007 tó wá fi di 2023 tẹ́ ẹ bá kà ọdún mẹ́tàdínlógún.
First of all, I am demanding that Nigeria withdraws its ambassador to Palestine in protest against several violations of Allah-given and fundamental human rights of millions of Palestinians. In protest against the rejection of several demands made by the United Nations organization, UN. Of course, I'm still coming back to the UN, but UN resolutions are no longer relevant as far as Israel is concerned. Israel violates UN resolutions at will, and nothing is done. Let an African nation do half of what Israel has done to the United Nations resolutions, and it will see fire. It will be threatened with boycott. It will be threatened with sanctions. It is only African nations and Arab nations, Muslim countries, that are victims of UN sanctions, victims of Western economic and military sanctions. They are the victims. It is the subjugation of the weak by the strong. We see justice today in the world as a whole. Justice today is about might. If you are weak, you don't get no justice. That's not justice in your dictionary. Only the strong get what they want. And this is what they call democracy. Them all crazy, with a Z.
Other notable imams present at the event also made their contributions to the topic of discourse.
Èmi ò fẹ́ fi ijọ́ kan dunnú mọ́ pẹ̀lú àwọn nǹkan tí mò ń rí. Mo lọ sí UK. Mo padà rí pé àwọn tí à ń pè ní ọ̀tá wa yìí, àfàìmọ̀ kí wọ́n má wọ àlìjánnà kù wá pẹ̀lú nǹkan tó ń fojú wa rí. Mo dé Canada, the same thing. Wọ́n fálù ẹ̀mí, wọ́n fálù mímọ́, wọ́n fálù ẹ̀sìn. Bọ̀tí lọ́dọ̀ wa ń bí yín ṣe là ń bára wa jagun. Tí ẹnu wa bá kò ní bàbá, èyí tí mo rí tó wá bà mí nú jẹ́ ni Mọ́kà tí mo ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ dé yìí. Wọ́n ti ń plan bí wọ́n ṣe fẹ́ kọ́ ilé ọtí sí Riyadh. Ṣé pa àwa ọ̀kà mọ́ bàbá wa Sikrudeen Safi? Ibi tó gun ìtún ti ń bọ̀ yìí tó bá ṣẹlẹ̀ tán ipa wa ò ní ká o. Àtòkèrè lólójú jíjìn tí mẹ́kún sun.
Kó tó di pa bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní ìjọba tá ń pè lórílẹ̀-èdè wọ̀nyí, àwọn ìjọba ńlá ló wà láyé. A ní Ottoman Empire, a ní the Russia, the Roman Empire, and so forth and so on. Àtàwọn ìlú ńlá bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn. Àwọn náà tara ogun Second World War. First World War and Second World War láti fi ìlú sí kéréje. Ìyẹn lórí First World War. Òun ló jẹ́ kí Ottoman Empire kó di nǹkan tí kò sí mọ́. Nítorí pé kí ni wọ́n ti pé àwàpọ̀ àwọn ọmọ èdè ènìyàn tá a bá ní àgbọ́yé kan tọ́rọ̀ dẹ̀ yé wa, tá a bá fọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ agbára wọn ò lè ká wa. Ohun tí wọ́n wá gbé dání òun náà ni kí wọ́n pín wa yẹ́lẹyẹ̀lẹ. Sasbiko ọmọ Britain àti ọmọ France, àwọn ni wọ́n jókòó lórí ìwé lórí ìjókòó ni wọ́n ti ya ìlú kọ̀ọ̀kan sọ́tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀. Ìyẹn ló wá fà á tó yẹ pé agbára àwa mùsùlùmí ò ká ète wọn. Náà fi rí Palestine gbà mọ́ wa lọ́wọ́ tí wọ́n jẹ gàba síbẹ̀. Ibi wọ́n wá ń lọ rèé. Áfíríkà, ojú wọn, ẹ̀mí wọn, ìbàjẹ́ wọn, Áfíríkà ni wọ́n fẹ́ dojú ẹ̀ kọ lẹ́yìn ìgbà tán bá rí bùjòkó tán.
Ẹ ti gbàgbé ìpìlẹ̀ wọn ni. Ìyà tí wọ́n jẹ lábẹ́ Fíráò náà, ìyà tí wọ́n jẹ yìí, l'Olúwa fi sọ fún wọn pé bímọ sọ́bàrù pẹ̀lú ẹ ṣe sùúrù, ìyà jẹ yín, wọ́n pa yín pakúpa, wọ́n pa òbí jọ̀mọ́, wọ́n pa èyí táwọn ń ṣe lẹ́nìí, wọ́n ti ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ fún wọn sẹ́yìn tí wọ́n mú wọn lẹ́rú lábẹ́ Fíráò náà. Pẹ̀lú èyí tí ẹni faradà yìí, wọ́n fà dọ́rí náà kún alàlẹ́ àlàmì náà á fi sọ̀gà.
Allahu Akbar.
Wọ́n kọjá àlà Ọlọ́run, wọ́n tún fi dà wọ́n ṣe dà yẹn. Tí wọ́n bá kọjá àlà Ọlọ́run ni àwọn ní wọ́n mọ̀ kọ̀ǹtró gbogbo ayé. Ṣùgbọ́n ètò wọn ṣẹlẹ̀ Gaza yìí, èyí tí mo fẹ́ kákọ́ lọ mọ̀ ni pé Ànábì wa Muhammad
sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
Yóò bá Ànábì dáadáa.
Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
Mùsùlùmí ò kì í lose gbogbo wọn. Mùsùlùmí ò kì í lose pé wọ́n jẹ wọ́n jọ̀mọ́, wọ́n jẹ wọ́n lógún. Rárá o, a kì í lose. Ànábì ti jẹ́ kó yé wa yí pé ìmọ̀ ṣẹ̀hídú wà ìmọ̀ gẹ̀límà. Jọ̀mọ́, àwọn tí wọ́n pa yẹn inú àlùjọ náà ni wọ́n lọ.
Adding glamour to the day were a number of presentations such as nasheed performances, drama presentation, and poetry recitation which captivated the audience and reinforced the event's message.
فلسطين أمتار العز يا داري لن ننسى 27 ألفا من كيلو الأمتار تلك هي الأرض فلسطين ولها مثل هذا قراري ولها مثل هذا قراري لن نعترف بإسرائيل لن نعترف بإسرائيل
bí wọ́n ṣe ń kírun yìí wọ́n ń jọ́sìn fún Ọlọ́run bá wọn láláì rò pé ní mọ́sídìí Aqsa àtàwọn mọ́ṣáláṣí tó wà ń bẹ̀ láláì rò pé aburú yóò tẹ̀yìn ẹ̀ wá nígbà táwọn ń jọ́sìn fún Ọlọ́run bá lékè ọlá.
Allahu Akbar.
ní kété tí wọ́n ń kírun lọ́wọ́ òun náà ni a rí àwọn Israeli tí wọ́n lọ yàbò wọn ní mọ́ṣáláṣí náà tí wọ́n yìnbọn fún wọn. gbogbo eléyìí news in the media. And the whole world has failed to see it as a genocide. Genocide is talking about killing children, killing females in any war without having any form of respect for them. So we can see how sympathetic they are, how sad they are. However, the whole media will not reflect what is happening.
We've seen the occupation, the appetites, and the human rights abuses. We've seen the headlines, the hashtags, and the outbreaking videos. We've also seen the resilience, the resistance, and the determination of the Palestinian people. We've seen the power of solidarity, of grassroots movements, and of our collective voices. As Gen Z, we are not advocating for Palestine. We are advocating for our own future. We are advocating for a world where oppression is unacceptable, where equality is non-negotiable, and where justice is a fundamental human right.
These creative displays brought the stories of Palestinian resilience to life, reminding everyone of the strength found in unity and shared humanity.
Palestine, hurrah, hurrah! Palestine, hurrah, hurrah!
The event was not just a platform for speeches, it was a powerful demonstration of unity. Various religious organizations participated, showcasing a shared commitment to advocating for justice in Palestine. The sentiment was clear: the fight for freedom transcends all barriers.
And the tradition of Prophet ﷺ says, every believer that does not have the interest and the compassion and the feelings of other Muslims or believers in other parts of the world is not a true believer. Therefore, this is a must for us to share the tradition of the Prophet, to feel concern, to feel the pain, to feel the trauma, to feel the tragedy that has befallen our brothers and sisters in Palestine, the oppression that has been meted upon our brothers and sisters in Palestine. We are crying for their freedom. We are yearning for their freedom. We pray for their freedom, and we are campaigning for their freedom. We hope the international world will be with us in making sure that the people of Palestinians are fully emancipated.
For over 75 years, these people have been subjected to mass murder, injustice, massacre, humiliation, and great inhumanity by Israeli people, simply because they happen to be on their land, and some people want to overpower them and take over the land from them. So now, after experiencing this kind of injustice for over 75 years, some of them decided to call the attention of the world to this massacre. And this happened on October 7, by a group of freedom fighters, which some other people are calling terrorists, that's Hamas. And because Israel wanted to take revenge, because they were caught by surprise, so they went all out in the name of going to eliminate Hamas within less than 1 month, in a space of less than 1 month. And this is already 11 months now. Next month is going to be 12 months, that's 1 year. They are unable not only to push out Hamas, but to succeed only in killing children, killing women, killing elderly people, bombing mosques, bombing other places of worship like churches, bombing hospitals, cutting access to light, access to water, access to treatment of injured and wounded people. This is heartless.
While speaking with Clear TV, the director of Muslim Awareness International encouraged Muslims worldwide not to relent and create an awareness to deepen the understanding of Palestine's situation.
Our message for anybody that is not here today is let them also voice against oppression. If you cannot even fight, we're not telling you to go and fight, but show concern for those that have been oppressed. Today, it may be the turn of the Palestinians. Tomorrow, it could be the turn of your own community, if not Nigeria. And it could be Nigeria as well. You will definitely seek the solidarization from other people. That was what led to the freedom of South Africa. That was what led to the freedom of some other small countries in Europe and in America, especially African countries. So let us show for those who need it. They are also human beings. Look at what is happening now. You can't imagine your family being killed, hospital destroyed. Look at the level of destructions in Gaza. You will not imagine it if it happens here.
What we call justice today, particularly as manifested in what is happening between Israel and the Palestinians, is that might is right today. It is the subjugation of conscienceless power on powerless conscience. Netanyahu has been declared an international criminal by the ICJ, International Criminal Court, International Court of Justice. And that court has ordered the arrest of Netanyahu. And yet, the US, Britain, and the rest of the West are just looking. They are standing down the order of the ICJ. We condemn this hypocrisy. The West is no longer the kind of model we used to look upon them as. America's representation in the past, its record as the largest and greatest democracy in the world, has dissolved.
Participants also shared their perspective on the issue, expressing their support for the Palestinian people.
It's an interesting program. It's a program we all as human beings have to come together to sympathize with the people of Gaza. They are killing the children, they are killing the women, and it's not a pathetic situation. We feel for them, we associate with them. We pray Almighty Allah heals their affairs.
I would tell them a very good job. Keep it up, and keep spreading the message. Keep broadcasting it live. Let people know. And importantly, to all Nigerians, to everybody, you don't have to be a Nigerian or a Muslim. Please boycott the Israeli product, boycott the Israelis, boycott evil, and be on the right side of history.
Almost all our prophet comes from that side. So that is where we belong to. The salat that we used to perform every day, 5 times daily prayer we used to perform, that is where our prophets go through. They go through that mosque to get the salat for us. And that salat is very important in our life today. That if you are a Muslim and you don't observe 5 times daily prayer, that means you are not a Muslim. So that place is a very important place for us. So it is needed for us to sensitize people and to tell them our responsibility to that area.
Joining in the rally were the younger participants. They walked around the stadium premises, holding flyers and placards to create awareness and express their deep thoughts and wishes for the people of Palestine.
I wish that we stop killing the children of Palestine, and Nigerian people support the people of Palestine. I wish the people of Palestine are free. Stop killing the people of Palestine. Nigeria support the people of Palestine.
I'm here to stand with the Palestinians, and I'm here to say that the Israelites should stop the commotion with the Palestinians. The children of Palestine, all they have wishes, and I pray their wishes to come true.
Benjamin Netanyahu, Ben Gvir, Smotrich, these are genocidal maniacs, barbarians, killers of children and killers of women. These are people that torture prisoners and kill Palestinian prisoners, that rape Palestinian children when they are in detention, that rape Palestinian men, that rape Palestinian women when they are in detention. These are people that take human parts of those that they kill and those that they torture and sell them on the market. These people that indulge in pedophilia. These are people who believe that the Jews are the master race and that every other race, whether black, white, brown, whatever you are, is inferior. These are people that do not see even the Semites of that region as being human beings. Because let me tell you, these are not Semites. They are basically white colonialists who came in from Europe and settled there. They're whites. They're not even Semites. They're not original Jews. They are people that came in from Europe and literally took the land for themselves. That is what we're facing. And it is incumbent upon those of us that are still decent-minded and fear God to rise up and speak against this evil. And I'm glad that it's happening all over the world today. It's happening in America, it's happening in Europe, it's happening all over the world. South Africa has taken the lead on the African continent, and many people are speaking out. Ireland has condemned it. Belgium has condemned it. Spain has condemned it. 90% of the countries of South America has condemned it. Many elements within France have condemned it. Even the UK has reduced its arms sales to them now. The whole world is condemning it. You go to the American university campuses, the top campuses in America, not just the small universities, the big ones like Harvard, the big ones like Princeton, like Yale, or you go to Oxford and Cambridge, or the biggest universities, they have demonstrations against what's going on in Gaza. The way we're fighting, people are speaking against Gaza today, what's happening in Gaza today, is the way that people once spoke against apartheid in South Africa. And it's only a question of time before true liberation comes to people of Palestine and that Palestine is free. We are doing our part here by speaking out on a daily basis in our country, Nigeria. And I'm proud of you. And it's nothing to do with religion. It's everything to do with humanity. Whether you're Christian, a Muslim, or neither of the two, you have a right and a duty to speak up for the people of Palestine, to remember those children that are being killed on a daily basis, to remember those women that are being raped and killed, and to resist an evil Zionist state that is predicated on apartheid and believes that everybody else should be destroyed and that people that are considered to be lesser than the Jews should be wiped off the face of the earth. I congratulate you for coming together. I congratulate you for having this wonderful gathering to show the world that we are in solidarity with the Palestinian people. May God be with you, may God guide you, and may God grant us victory in this great struggle.
The message from this year's Aqsa Day was simple and clear, stating that the struggle for Palestine's freedom is one that requires global attention and decisive action. Participants shared a collective hope that the call for justice would resonate far beyond the stadium grounds and would change the fortune of the Palestinian for good.